Welcome to Sawlogs Plastic Hubs. This video will be whatever project I'm working on, and I don't do a separate, sometimes I do a separate openings for them, sometimes I don't. Again, it's just a summer opening, and I just wanted to throw one out there, and we'll blend it in. It's probably when I get a chance to sit down and do some videos. There's a lot of upcoming things that you're going to be seeing on these videos, summer projects or whatnot. Once I kind of get back in the shop for the summer, right now that has been occupied a lot. So I hope you enjoy the channel, enjoy the videos, and subscribe and follow. So just jump right on in there. I'm going to do another mini shop tour. I may throw that new purchase in with it. What you're seeing, and I'm just kind of doing, let me turn my viewfinder around so I can describe what I'm doing while I'm turning this. Okay, my shop, in case young's maybe a newer viewer or haven't heard, this was a storage building. It does have wooden floors in it, and this particular building was built with previous owners. Well, let's put it away. Chris's late husband built this building, and when he built the floor system in it, the flooring is on 16-inch center, so it's very, very stiff. Holds everything up really good. So with the building itself is approximately 14 feet on the outside by 20 feet long. That's the exact size. It would be the size of a single car carport. Most of the people in the United States that have home shops usually have a 20 by 20 minimum shop. And there's times that I wish I had more space, but there's plenty of room to run the machines. So this is my Grizzly, and right now the Grizzly, on the setup on my Grizzly, I was doing a project, so I've got my collet system in it. The collet system I use is ER32. Again, if I had this to do over, it'd probably be ER40. But now I've invested in it. The piece you see right here come from eBay. And this is a Grizzly back plate, and then there's a aluminum plate in between that this bolts onto that's bolted here. What that does is allow me to adjust that from run out radially. It's really come in handy. I used it on my last project here recently, and a lot of times I'll use it on smaller stuff. Drawback on ER32, it only goes up probably 3/4 of an inch. But again, that's plenty big enough. Now my lathe, I'm going to bring this down with you. Bear with me. Mine is a G750G gunsmithing lathe. It's a 12 by 36 Grizzly. Now, normally on your Grizzly lathes, there's a plate that's in the center of the machine where you see my shelves. That plate's just a piece of sheet metal that's got holes in between them. And what happened with, excuse me, I kicked the tripod, with my lathe, when I installed it in the other shop I had in Kings Mountain before I moved here to Dallas, I was putting the top piece on the stands, and the floor giveaway is a wooden floor too. And with the motor hoist, it punched a hole and basically damaged and warped the centerpiece. A friend of mine come by later, and we reinstalled the lathe without a centerpiece, just using legs. If you'll notice, I have pieces of angle iron on mine welded to the stands. Again, because this lathe is sitting on wood, it ties everything together and gives us a lot more support. The one drawback to these particular lathes is the feet's up underneath, and it's really difficult to put these things down. And Grizzly itself recommends bolting them on anchors. So that's why you see the angle. There's a piece of angle front back. Sitting underneath there in the bottom are some card cabinets. I painted 2 or 3 different shades of green because it's hard to match Grizzly's green. And the shelf right here in the center, again, it's just an angle iron piece of sheet metal in it just to hold my chucks and such stuff as that. Alright, now we'll just kind of up this, and I'll just move this. And this is my first grinder. And again, you'll notice my shop is very tight. This is a Cummins, very cheap Chinese grinder. I've had it for a long time. It's on a homemade stand. And one of the things you'll notice is, if you'll notice, and I'll come back a little bit, you'll see behind my lathe here that there's a shelf. I've done showed this in the flea market shelf. The other shelf's where I'll keep my collets. You notice my air line from outside coming in and whatever. And then we move over to the Lagun mill. I shoehorn this. And for those folks who don't know the story, this particular mill actually come from American Airlines or US Air or Piedmont even, probably, who knows. But it was in Charlotte at the airport machine shop. The mill was actually the guy that I purchased it from got it from there, and he got it on trade when he was doing some work for American Airlines. This machine was slated to be gotten rid of, and when I got it, it basically was a good type machine, but it had no power feed, no DRO. It had been removed by one of the machinists at US Air. So basically what you see here is my setup, and I kind of go back around, and you see this sometimes pretty often. I haven't turned the DRO off. I was using it a while ago. Now, my machine is run by a static phase converter. I don't use anything else. I've had good results with it. My static phase converter, and I'll kind of bring you around here to the rear of the lathe, the mill, excuse me, and I'll go ahead and I'll cut it off. And I don't know if you can see it right here in the back. This is my static. This is a phase-matic phase converter, static phase converter. Yes, there is some horsepower loss before, again, an internet troll kicks in and says, well, that's what we got. And then it's wired directly 220 to a cutoff box here. So what I have is a pretty good system, and I'll come on back out here and bring you down and show you my servo power feed, which I installed on this mill. This is the dynamo version. A Lagun is hard to find pieces for, and so I wanted power feed, excuse me, so I actually done a lot of research, and a lot of them wouldn't fit. I discovered a company called H&W Machine Rebuilders. They actually service Bridgeports and rebuild them and does stuff like that. And they had in their website and catalog this value brand of servo. They call it Dynamo. And it is a Taiwanese or Chinese unit, but it's backed by servo, and it was a direct bolt-on kit. It's no trouble. The only thing I have done, and I don't know if you can see it, and I might zoom you in just a little bit here on the zoom. There you go. If you'll notice, my handle's got weld on it. That handle was originally had a clutch in it, so you could disengage and engage it, and the teeth wore out. So the easiest way for me to repair it was much less make it one piece. Since I'm the only one with machines in this building, I know when I stay away from that. So that's my two main machines that you see in my shop, and I kind of go around the corner, and this is my workbench, and I'm not going to say I keep a neat workbench. It's a semi-neat workbench. I have a little small arbor press over in the corner. I have one vise. My swag off-road table that I got my portable bandsaw on, and it usually kind of got the bent. Normally it lays in this direction like this, pushed up against the wall. And let me hang my air hose up there. If you'll notice behind my workbench, there's a lot of pegboard. What that just gives me places to hang stuff. Here in the center of the table right here is my drill sharpener, SRD. I've done some videos on my SRD in the past. I'll kind of move over a little bit. And the black steel plate that you see sitting there in the workbench is what I call my adapter plate. That's just a piece of steel bolted to this wooden workbench that I've got hole patterns to bolt the two legs on the table saw and the drill and tap machine that I've made over here in the corner. I got air conditioner. I actually have 2 vices on mine. This is over here. You've seen a video where I put an aluminum jaws on this vise. And then underneath, it's kind of junky over here in this corner, is a bunch of drills that I'm still working on over a long period of time, like chop saw, floor jack, some other stuff over this corner. This is the bottom of a Craftsman toolbox that I keep some stuff stored in here. Then my little Daytona MIG welder, there's a table saw that sits over in that corner, and a miter saw. And then this is this is not a Harbor Freight saw. This saw, I believe, was sold by Northern. I bought this saw used several years ago off a gentleman. It's actually fairly close to where I live today. When I put it on rollers, and the reason you see the wood underneath is I kind of made a mistake. I measured the exact length and my saw wouldn't fit down in it. So I had to put this plywood and stuff on it, and it's on 4 casters. So it can be rolled out, and if you'll notice, real easy. And it gives you a lot of room. And then behind it is my Baldor grinder that I picked up at an auction. The Baldor, I found this in the state auction. Pretty sad looking shape. It didn't have it did not, and still a lot of it's not original. And I didn't realize it, but it actually got a bent shaft to it too. So it's been, cleaned it up, painted it. The one shaft's bent off the one side of the motor and it makes it vibrate. I made the grind benches out of aluminum. You see, there's a video series on that. And the guards, I don't think's original Baldor, but they was made, and I put them, used them again. I made a stand. It's just a simple piece of steel pipe, a plate, and a brake rotor that I don't know what it come off of. A local mechanic that does service for us, I went in one day and said, "John, I need a brake rotor." And he handed me one out of this strap pile. So I'm gonna push this back here and turn you around. I'll just kind of move you back over towards the lathe, and then you're gonna see the rest of the shop. This is what I use for a machinist toolbox. The top of it is a wooden box. Now, it is not a Gerstner, so don't think I'm a snob. I bought this off of eBay, but it's actually a Harbor Freight box. It's what the Harbor Freight sells, a Windsor design. And I'm going to tell you, I like it because this building is not completely climate controlled, and it does seem to do a little better than a metal box. The center section is just a regular Craftsman. It's a cheap Craftsman center section I've had for a good while. And I just keep some like indicators and whatnot. The bottom one is a Husky box. Again, it's just a standard mechanics box that Home Depot sells. It was actually a birthday gift from my ex-wife, and a Christmas gift, one of the two. And I've used it, mainly converted it into a machinist box, and what I keep in it is I got just tooling, mostly inserts, tools, drills, what little stuff I have. And then you move over here to my this bench. This used to be my workbench in several other shops I have. I mean, if you watch some of my earlier videos when I was in the building in Kings Mountain, and when I started doing YouTube, this was my workbench. I made this thing up a long, long time ago, and it was like tremendously handy. So the bottom is, again, card files, and it's actually stored outside, so there's some rust on it, if you'll notice that. And then if you kind of move up to the table, there's 2 drill presses mounted on. Let me see if I can get you back where you can see the drill presses. Bring the zoom back here where you can get them. It's kind of hard to get that. Might have to bring you up a little bit. All right, and I'll bring you over to the corner. Let me come this way so the lighting's better for you. Okay, so on this one corner of the table, is this large bench drill press, Craftsman. Again, this was one, I'm going to go ahead and cut this off because we'll leave it. This one that was here, it belonged to Chris's late husband. It's a really, really good Craftsman drill press. And the small drill press is a bench model that I had. The Delta sander you see in the middle, I had a Harbor Freight. You may have seen it in the floor. The Delta bench sander that you see that I'm using today, it was a freebie. It was stowed in as a gift from Larry Guy, who I bought the mill from. And he got it from the same place, and they throwed it on his vehicle, said, take it home, you can have it. Well, he gave it to me. I get home with it, and I hadn't messed with it a couple of weeks or a month. When I got home to start to mess with it, I discovered it wouldn't turn on, but the switch, the electric switch was bad, so I just put a box on it, a house switch. Plus, the knobs was missing on the end. One of them was from Delta, and I just knocked some out of aluminum. And on the end of my bench right here is another grinder. Again, this grinder was here too, a little Craftsman 5-inch bench grinder. And it comes in real handy for whatever. Now, the only other thing, the biggest other thing I have in my, is this Harbor Freight toolbox. This particular Harbor Freight, you see me sometimes when I do openings and closings. Let me kind of get back a little bit where you can see it. You'll see me standing in front of it. I purchased this after we moved here, and I moved here, and I had several different toolboxes and different combinations, and I really, really needed some more room. And for the money, you can't beat them. I've got all kind of hand tools. There's some carpentry tools, mechanics tools, screwdrivers, pliers, you know, just the stuff I've collected. I'm 62 years old, and these tools that I collect, some of them actually was my dad's that's in this box, and I collected. And basically what that is where if I need a wrench or something, that's where I go to. And so again, you can do a lot in a small building. You notice I try to keep this floor kind of open. And I think that one of the things you notice, if you'll look up, and I'll kind of bring you up, you'll notice there's shelving. And some of these shelves was here when I took the walls down and redone them, and it just gives storage. I know some people don't like them, but there's plenty of storage. Mostly, I got this hand tools, and this accessories, there's things I need I can get to. There's a story about that trophy right there. I won that trophy. I was 17 years old at drag strip. What they call streetcar racing. And I won that little truck. There's a dwell meter that I've had for years. And so, and if you'll notice, I did put a picture up of one of the wins I had in the go-kart racing here. It's in the shop too. This one was, this particular, I've used this one I think sometimes on my openings and closings. I've got a few charts around. I think you've seen the one over here on the wall that really tap chart. Tom had to, he liked it so much he wanted it. Some of the other signs is in here. The repair sign of Chris's late husband, he'd done a little automotive work, and he actually had, I guess he had these on his truck. There was one on the refrigerator in the house, and this one was here. I was requested to leave them, so I did when I redone the building. And he served in the Air Force, and there's some North Dakota tags. You can't quite see them to this day, but they're there, and there's a few other things. What's obvious is they was all Chevy people, so that sign's there. And then I'm a Ford guy. They're real fun. Little sign, little tractor sign, little Ford 8N sign here. And this is kind of my little home away from home. And I will tell you, for a shop tour, my point is, guys, is you can fit a lot of stuff in there. I've got a full-size mill in here, and I had it shoehorned in. the floor's been reinforced under the mill of the lathe, and we never ever have any trouble with our machines moving, vibrating, or anything like that. So I thought I would do another shop update because I haven't in a while, and I got some new subscribers that's out there, and maybe some of the old ones is curious how I keep things in order. And let me just kind of step in front of the camera a minute now. I get to turn this around where I can see. Guys, let me turn this up so you can see me, how you like to look at me. Guys, I was on HSM. I'm a member of the Home Shop Machinist. I'm also a member of Hobby Machinist. One of the guys on there was talking about laying out his garage shop, or was talking about visiting other members. And one of the guys had made the comment, oh, I need to clean my shop up. I said, well, I keep mine to a certain degree somewhat clean. Now, I'm not a neat freak, and you'll notice my lathe's got grease on it and stuff like that. I keep my ways clean. I keep the parts, but the places like that, the chips are going to fly out on, and oil gets them cutting. I ain't going to stand here and wipe a machine, rag clean them. I'm going to keep machines mechanicals where they need to be. These are working machines in my shop. I use them. But I made the comment, you can't have too big a mess because I'm shooting YouTube videos. And the size of my shop, I can't hide very much stuff neither. So when you see my videos, you'll notice this I keep every day when I finish, I try to at least straighten up a little bit and sweep. If I got a lot of chips in the floor, I'll sweep up. In my case, I don't generate a lot of material to need to worry about it. Most of mine, I just put them in a trash bag and just dispose of them as garbage. The amount of chips that I generate is very little. You know, obviously it's not like I'm in here machining for a living, hogging a lot of stuff off. So guys, I hope you enjoyed my new latest shop tour. You know, like and subscribe to the channel. I hope you enjoy my videos. So any comments or suggestions or ratings or whatever, guys, chime right on in, and I'll be glad to try to answer all of them. You know, even sometimes, but even if you get a troll, at least he's watching. But, you know, some people, I don't understand where they get off. Machining, or life in general, is my dad said something a long time ago. Said everybody looks in a different direction. And we all have the things that's important to us that we look at and how we look at it. And what works for me in my shop or in my life may not work for you. And just because I do it, that don't mean it's the gold standard or anybody else. You know, I know most people watch these videos, watch some of the big channels, some of the well-known YouTube creators, people like Keith Fenner, people like Mr. Pete, Lyle Peterson, Adam Booth, those guys, and Keith Rucker, those guys, they're all good, and anybody can do this. You know, don't let these people intimidate you into leaving. It's the thing about it is, you got to have the right stuff to work with and to be able to do a good job. And every project don't always turn out perfect for none of them. Everybody has little errors and mistakes in their projects. And, you know, the thing is you've got to be able to learn that this is not a perfect science. So guys, enjoy your shop tour. I hope you, again, learned something new. If you didn't, and this is a repeat, I'm sorry. Have a great day. Okay, first thing here while I've got the camera, and I don't know when you're going to see this, this is a new shop purchase, and what it is a taper attachment that goes on the lathe, fits into Morse taper, allows you to do taper turning by offset the tailstock. I found this unit on eBay, and it's sort of really simple. You just have two different bolt units here. You loosen up and you can work it on here in the back. And the price was fairly reasonable. It was, I think, about $80 or something on eBay. And actually, this thing was shipped through an Amazon buyer. Now, I had that happen a couple times here recently. So this is a new unit here. We're going to put the use in the shop sometime soon on a project probably. But I just like the idea of it. I looked at several different ones that other creators made, and I could do that. But my opinion is that I felt like that I prefer, this is just, I've got kind of snowed under in projects here. So I wanted to make one of these. So this is a new purchase for the shop. Okay, excuse the air conditioner. You see this right here? That's my thumb screws to hold that to the plate. So what we've done is I just went ahead and drilled on my swag stand and tapped a couple of 1/4 20 holes, so those will just permanently stay with the stand and won't lose it. Unlike my drill and tap stand, which has slots in it, it's a lot easier to keep it together. I was constantly struggling with losing these screws, so therefore that's what we did to solve the problem. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Whatever we've done today, because usually I shoot a close and put together a montage at the end. So this is usually my way of saying thank you. Now, if I haven't said it enough, I will say it. Every subscriber I've got, I appreciate. Appreciate every view I get. Now, do we have the big channel? No. Do we want to have a big channel? Well, I'd be stupid saying I wouldn't be a little jealous if I didn't, but my mode of making these videos isn't to get rich. It is to have fun. So those come along and enjoy the videos and have fun with me, I appreciate it. But please do share it with your friends if they're not subscribers. And, you know, bring them over here and let us look at somebody else that's doing this. You know, I'm a career machinist, and I've always liked to make things. So when I'm retired, now I really have plenty of time. Right now, you know, we've been kind of busy with some house projects and stuff, so that's slowed us up here for the last several months. But I hope you enjoy the videos, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. Again, please subscribe. Please tell your friends, and if you are a subscriber, thank you so very much. Have a great day, and we will see you in the next video when I make another one.